Estimate the cost or bill of material for wiring of hostel or residential building and workshop. Hello, this is Charumati. At the end of this exercise, you shall be able to calculate the total load in the sub-circuit and select the size of cable in the sub-circuits. We also learn how to estimate the quantity of materials and cost of wiring. We take a typical residence as an example to calculate the energy consumed.
Required tools to measure the costs are measuring tape 0 to 25 meter, 1 number. Standard wire gauge, 1 number. Steel rule 300 mm, 1 number. Micrometer 0 to 25 mm, 1 number. Electrical wirings are made of copper and aluminium, which are very good conductors of electricity. The wiring cost may depend on the length and diameter used. It also depends on the quality used. The cost of wiring a building can vary depending on number of factors, such as the size of the building, the number of rooms, and the electrical load requirements. Electrical wires, junction boxes, circuit breakers, switches and outlets, conduit and fittings are commonly used materials to measure. The Indian Electricity Board has laid separate rules and regulations in the past few years, which are to be strictly maintained for separate sub-circuits for light, fan loads and power loads. As per IE rules, the maximum load for a power sub-circuit should not exceed 3000 watt. As per IE rules, the maximum load for a single light and fan sub-circuit should not exceed 800 watt. Task 1. Obtain a building plan and collect the requirements of lights, fans, lighting and power sockets. Mark the location of the switchboard, power loads and dB in the plan. Calculate the number of sub-circuits required for the above load as per IE rules. Note: the type and quantity of loads depend upon the customer's requirement. Hence, complete data are to be collected before starting estimation. A sample requirement is given for the trainee's reference. The wall thickness 40 cm. The height of roof from ground 3.5 meter. Height of conduit run 3 meter. The details of standard requirement of power loads are given in Table 1.
Indian electricity rule states that there should be separate sub-circuits for light or fan loads and power loads. Therefore, 6 amperes plug points, sockets, are considered as light or fan load points as they are meant for connecting table fan or table lamp, etc. 16 amperes power plug are considered as power points as they are used for connecting heavy loads like heaters, kettles, etc.
Calculate the number of sub-circuits required for the above load as per IE rules. Note: Indian electricity rule states that there should be separate sub-circuits for light, fan loads and power loads. Therefore, 6 amps plug points, sockets are considered as light fan load points as they are meant for connecting table fan, table lamp, etc. 16 amps power plug are considered as power points as they are used for connecting heavy loads like heaters, kettles, etc. Draw the layout of conduit, switchboard, loads and dB as shown. Calculate the size of each cable as shown below. Current through sub-circuit 1, 2, 3 are 2.6 amps, 2.5 amps and 8.6 amps. Total current is equal to 2.696 plus 2.522 plus 8.696 is equal to 13.9 amps. Note 16 amps 250 volt flush type distribution board main switch is sufficient. Calculate the length of PVC conduit and cable as shown below. Cable for sub-circuit 1 and 2, 1 square mm copper is equal to 3 into 6 plus 62 minus 10 is equal to 174 meter. Note: trainee shall select the cable size by referring the table given in related theory. Calculate the labor cost. Note: labor cost point should be taken by referring the local rate list. For example, take the labor cost as rupees 100 per point, then total labor cost is 23 into 100 is equal to rupees 2,300. Table 2 for material of schedule and cost. Task 2. Estimate the cost bill of materials for wiring of the workshop. Obtain the floor plan of the workshop. Mark the positions of motors on the floor plan with the consultation of the customer. A sample requirement is given below for trainees' reference. 1 5 HP 415 volt 3-phase motor. 1 3 HP 415 volt 3-phase motor. 1 half HP 240 volt single-phase motor. 1 1 HP 415 volt 3-phase motor. The motors are to be arranged as shown. The main switch, motor switch and starters are assumed to be mounted at a height of 1.5 meter from the ground level. Height of horizontal run from ground level will be 2.5 meter. The cost of motors and starters are not to be included in the estimate. Calculate the size of cable. The main switch and the cable from meter to main switch should be capable of handling starting current of one motor of high rating plus full load current of all the other motors. 5 HP motor is equal to 15.6 amps. 3 HP motor is equal to 4.68 amps. Half HP motor is equal to 2.25 amps. And 1 HP motor is equal to 1.56 amps. That is 15.6 plus 4.68 plus 2.25 plus 1.56 is equal to 24.9 amps. Prepare a table showing cable size of each motors to be installed as shown in Table 3. Note: the type and gauge of cable shall be selected by referring the table given in related theory. Select the suitable switches and distribution board. 32 amps, 415 volts ICTP switch with fuses can be used as main switch. 16 amps, 415 volts ICTP switches with fuses can be used for 5 HP, 3 HP and 1 HP motors. 16 amps, 240 volts ICDP switch with fuses can be used for half HP motor. 415 volts 4-way 16 amps per way IC distribution board with neutral link can be used for power distribution. Draw the single line diagram of power wirings as shown Calculate the size and length of conduit. 19 mm heavy gauge conduit should be used for 3 cable runs and 25 mm heavy gauge conduits should be used for 6 cable runs. 19 mm heavy gauge conduit. Total length is equal to 49.5 meter, say 50 meter. 25.4 mm heavy gauge conduit. Total 7.42 meter, say 8.0 meter. 25 mm flexible conduit for 5 HP and 3 HP motor. 0.75 plus 0.75 is equal to 1.5, say 2.0 meter. Calculate the length of cables. Total 59.51 meter, say 60 meter. Calculate the labor cost as per the local rate and rules for calculating number of points. Prepare schedule of material and cost as shown in Table 4.
Recap. Calculate the total load in sub-circuit and select the size of cable in the sub-circuits. Estimate the quantity of materials and cost of wiring. Thus, we have learned how to estimate the cost or bill of material for wiring of hostel or residential building and workshop. Hope you have a clear understanding on this. Do this exercise with the help of your instructor. Thank you.